I'm Sophia Sparnis. Welcome to Women's World TV Magazine. Welcome to Women's World. I'm Sophia Sparnis. Our co-host tonight is Sonny Quinn. It's great to have you back on the show again, Sonny.
Thanks, Sophia. Good to be back.
Great. To begin our show, we're going to tell our viewers a little bit about us. We are indeed the TV magazine for women. We will interview experts by taking our camera crew where events take place. We will talk to women who are divorced, lost their jobs, or experiencing a personal tragedy. Where do they go for help? We know, and now you will know.
And although a lot of our segments are informative and sometimes serious, well, we also have our moments that are rather frivolous, light, and entertaining as well. We're going to show you the latest in fashion trends, some beauty tips, travel, and fine dining, and we're also going to indulge in the arts a little bit. What we're going to do is take our cruise backstage into a live performance of Evita and interview the star and see what kinds of obstacles she's had to overcome on her route to stardom.
And what about the woman who works in an office, clinic, or wherever? Is she still bothered by the male chauvinist, or has life changed? We want to hear from you. Please send us your letters. We will answer them, and we will read them.
And we have gotten some letters from some women already before the first show even aired who read the write-up about the show in the newspaper. And the general consensus was that a lot of you are very tired of seeing shows that are hardcover, soft cover, undercover, whatever. Well, I think we've pretty much covered the gamut. Sophia, what do you think?
I think so. So let's get on with our show. Please stay tuned. Women's World is on location at New Reflection Cosmetic Surgery. There's no denying that vanity plays a major role in every woman's life. But this not only applies to women, it also applies to men. The aging process is a big factor. Many women have entertained the thought of having cosmetic surgery done, not only to enhance their appearance, but they feel if they look younger, they will think and act younger. There are many questions that come to mind. How much does it cost? Is it painful? Does it last? Is the recovery time long? Or am I silly for getting this done? Well, we will answer these questions and many more. Tonight we're going to be talking about facelifts, rhinoplasty, commonly known as a nose job, and also liposuction, which is fat suction. And here to tell us about that is Dr. Morse. Dr. Morse, welcome to Women's World.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So tell us, doctor, does facelifts actually make you look younger?
A facelift does make people look younger. There are certain phases of cosmetic surgery that I would say do not make you look younger, but all cosmetic surgery improves the appearance of the patient.
What are some of the general considerations that someone should take prior to any kind of surgical procedures done?
Before any surgical procedure, the patient, first of all, must be in good health. And there are certain laboratory tests that need to be done. If they have a family physician, they should have a physical exam. They should talk about it with their own doctor and find out from him if they're in physical condition to undergo any type of elective surgery.
When performing a facelift, where are the standard incisions made?
The usual facelift incisions are made behind the ear.
It should help you out, Jane. I'm going to get you and Dolly a facelift.
So that it's hidden by the patient's own hair. The incision then comes down in front of the ear, and in most cases, actually into the part of the ear so that it doesn't show in front of the ear. Then it goes underneath the earlobe, behind the ear, and back down along the hairline so that the incisions are completely hidden, and if properly done in a month, you can't even see the incisions that are in front of the ear.
Dr. Liposuction, better known as fat suction, is a method to decrease inches, not to lose weight. Now, a lot of people come in here basically to try to lose weight. What exactly do you tell them, and where are the common areas that you work on them?
We have to turn many patients down. They think that we're a diet factory overnight, and we just can't do that.
Right.
They can be 10 to 20% overweight, And if the fat deposits are in the proper areas, we can help those people a great deal. Lipodystrophy, as abnormal fat deposits is called, usually in the woman are in the hips, the tummy, the outer thighs, and the inner thighs. Whereas in men, it's usually in the tummy, the so-called beer barrel, and the love handles. There again, there's a difference between men and women. In most men, the fat that gives them the so-called beer barrel is inside the abdomen, which cannot be helped with liposuction. Liposuction is done above the muscle plane. And so most men that come in, we have to turn down if that's the only thing that they have.
Rhinoplasty, that is to improve the look of someone's nose. Now, there are many reasons people get this procedure done other than just to improve the appearance. What are some of the other medical reasons that people have to get this done?
People who have difficulty in breathing, which is a functional disorder, and it's usually due to deviation of the nasal septum, which is the wall that separates one nostril from the other up inside the nose. And those patients
How different she looks with her nose
greatly
done.
relieved after the surgery. And
Does she
even
look
those
different?
patients that have minor deviations inside, packages we'll say, of the inside of the nose, it's advisable to straighten that out and give them more interior room so they have better airway, because when you do a rhinoplasty, you're actually making the nose smaller and you're compromising the airspace inside the nose.
Doctor, when someone comes in your office for a consultation, what exactly do you talk about during that time?
Well, first of all, we go over the patient's medical history. And then we go into the consultation room where the patient looks into a mirror, and I look into the mirror with her. And I ask the patient, what is there about your appearance that you're unhappy with? What is there that you would like us to help you with? And then the patient will explain to me exactly what it is that she would like us to do.
While talking to Dr. Morse, we were fortunate enough to interview 3 of his patients who share their experience with us. Here's their reaction to cosmetic surgery.
You get up one morning, look in the mirror, and decide you don't like what you're looking at. And the world is terribly youth-oriented. So I did something about it, and it's fantastic.
Do people know that you got your nose worked on?
Oh yeah, I brag about it all the time. And a lot of my friends, they come up to me and they say, Margaret, you're looking absolutely fantastic. What have you done? And I say, well, you know, it's just Florida rain, Florida sunshine.
That's cute, isn't it? That's cute. She has a heavy English accent.
Great. Oh, Dolores, that was great.
The wonderful world of dining out. Hi, I'm Sunny Quinn. On the beach in Hutchinson Island, we discovered a restaurant that we'd like to share with you. We're at top of the aisle at the Sheraton on Hutchinson Island, and we discovered great food and a bonus as well. We've got a terrific panoramic view of the ocean here. And with us tonight is Chef Mark, and he's going to share with us his specialty of the house. And you may want to grab a paper and pen because he's going to give us the details of how you can make this as well. Welcome to Women's World, Mark.
Hi, Sonny.
And what is this beautiful dish you're going to make for us tonight?
Tonight what we're going to make is a grouper sauteed with capers, lime segments, and tiny croutons. And there's many varieties of grouper. The best grouper I found to be black grouper, and it's a local fish around. You can find it at any market. And we're going to saute it, as I said, with the capers and the lime segments. You take your lime, and we're going to peel it. You follow all the way around the lime, taking the peel off, and then you cut out each segment. After you finish that, you take a piece of white bread, taking the crust off. You make yourself several small rows. turning it and making yourself tiny croutons. And you take these and you toast these in the oven until they're just golden brown. And how they'll turn out is just like this.
Now, these portions that you're showing us here are enough to feed how many?
This would be one single portion.
Okay.
And what you'd want to do is one lime per portion and one slice of bread per portion. Now we're going to take the fish and we're going to season it with a little salt and pepper, some garlic, and we're going to lightly flour it. You pat the excess flour off, or you don't want it to burn in your pan. You need a hot pan for this dish. It cooks very quickly. We add a little bit of butter to the pan. And you saute. Your fish should sizzle. You shouldn't lay it in. You shouldn't sit there and have the flour soak up. What's going to happen is it's going to brown for you.
Is this your own special recipe that you made up yourself?
No, ma'am, this is a recipe I learned from a French chef I used to work under. And as far as I know, I haven't seen it in America yet.
Great. So the first one.
Now, as this is sauteing, you get your ingredients out, and you cut your lime, and you get your tiny croutons. We have some capers here. Capers are the tiny buds of a nasturtium plant, and they're stored in a brine of vinegar. I have some fresh chopped parsley here. Please, use only fresh ingredients. Fresh whole butter. I have some pepper, white wine, and then we have some garnish for the plate. We're going to saute this till brown. And flip it over.
This looks like a quick dish to
It's
prepare.
very, very quick.
That's
In fact, it's so quick I have one already done.
good. That looks terrific.
Okay. Now we're going to set this aside.
That's your lunch.
Same pan. We're going to add our capers and our butter. And you want this butter to brown. You add your lime segment. Fresh black pepper. Our white wine.
Oh, it smells terrific. Interesting.
Let this
blend.
reduce just a little bit, okay? And as that's reducing, you add your fresh parsley. Now the way we tighten this sauce up unconventionally is with the croutons. And it is the last ingredient that we add. We're going to add the croutons, it's going to soak up a little bit of the sauce, and we're going to put it over. It gives a little texture to the sauce and doesn't make it so watery. So we add our croutons. You toss it around a little bit. And over the top of the grouper. Now to finish every dish, you always need a little bit of garnish. So we always have a little garnish on hand. And it's always nice to have a little bit of extra lime to squeeze over the top. And there we have it. That's a grouper.
Fabulous.
Grouper grimbalades.
What is the name of that?
A grouper grimbalades.
Terrific.
That's with capers, lime segments, and tiny croutons.
Great. Thank you so much for showing us your recipe.
Thank you.
Okay. Chef Mark at top of the aisle at the Sheraton on Hutchinson Island.
That's great.
As we packed our camera equipment in the van and headed for Lion Country Safari, I started to feel the tension. My blood started to race as the adrenaline flowed. Thoughts conjured in my mind. I could see myself in a cage with a lion trainer. What an exciting day. Hi, I'm Sophia Sparnas. When our staffers informed me that I was to interview a woman with an unusual job on an African safari, you can imagine how excited I was. Well, the first thing I did was to get my passport and then go shopping for the appropriate clothes, as you can see. But I didn't need a passport because here we are at Lion Country Safari in Palm Beach, Florida, where the women, elephants, run the herd. Bill, tell us what I meant by the female runs the herd.
In the elephants and with a lot of things in nature, the females run the herd. They take care of things, they protect the young. The males are normally on the outskirts and they protect the herd as their population. But in the herd, it's run by females. They make the decisions, they decide where to go.
Well, it's amazing that you can just be around these animals all the time. How long have you been around elephants?
I've been working with them about 2.5 years.
And you get to know each individual's personality, don't you?
Very much. And they're right behind chimps in intelligence. They are extremely smart. They know their own names, and they each have a very distinct personality.
You feel that they listen to you?
When it's convenient, yes. They seem to do what they want overall. But yeah, there is a matter of control. But that's something I've earned. It's a bit of respect either way.
Women's World has been told by the people at Lion Country Safari that their one concern is the visitors driving past the uncaged lions. These lions are lumbering and sleeping on the ground near the cars. We're with Vicki Call, who is a lion keeper. Now, though we're not in the lion section, it's too dangerous. We are in the giraffe section. Vicki, welcome to Women's World.
Thank you.
Vicki, what attracted you to such a life-challenging job?
I've been working with animals for most of my life, and this is just another aspect of it.
Do you feel threatened every day that you go and work, that maybe your life could be taken at any minute?
No, the safety precautions taken here are very good. There's really no chance of it as long as you keep an eye on what you're doing.
Right. Now, what exactly do you have to do with the lions themselves? You know them all by name, I do know that.
Yeah, I do. Well, the pride that's out in the field, we let out in the morning. They're fed in the field. The water's changed before the pride is let out. And then one of us will go back to the hut, clean the huts, and feed the other lions that are up there.
And you told me earlier that you have to bathe them every day.
Oh, yeah, they're rinsed down every day, everybody.
And what exactly does a meal consist of for the lions?
Chicken, beef, fish, whatever. It's 5 to 10 pounds per lion.
And how many times a day?
Once.
Just once?
Just once.
Now, I understand that the lions sleep from 18 to 20 hours a day, and people think that the lions are sedated. Is that true?
No, the lions aren't sedated.
So they can attack at any given moment?
Oh, sure. You just give them a reason to, or the time.
Despite this, the officials informed us there has never been any fatalities or anyone harmed.
In the lion section, people often ask if it's safe to bring their own cars to the preserve, and of course it is. Very rarely does anything happen to the cars, but on one occasion we did have a lion that was given a tire to play with as a toy, and it was his very favorite toy. He started to wear it down to the steel-belted radials, so at that point we decided it was safest to take it away from the lion. The very next day, the first car that pulled into the lion section on the preserve, the lion went right up to the front tire and grabbed the front tire. He saw that as the closest thing to his play toy.
What did the person in the car do about that?
They didn't mind. Fortunately, they had a wonderful sense of humor. Obviously, we reimbursed them for the tire and replaced it, but they enjoyed it. They really did.
We were here 15 years ago, and a lion actually got on top of our car. What about the story with the chimpanzees and the raisins?
That's true.
We, one of the things with animals in captivity, it's very important to, it's not only just keep them in captivity, but keep them healthy and challenged and active. It's very important. One of the ways to do this is to give them enhancements. And the more more difficult it is to keep them challenged and to come up with an enhancement. With our chimpanzees, we often like to challenge them with their food. For example, we hollow out a log and fill it with raisins. And they have to figure out how to get the raisins out. But the chimpanzees outsmarted us. They, one of them, Lucy, just dunked the log right into the water and waited for the raisins to float to the top, and then she plucked them out of the water and ate them.
Smart chimpanzee. And we were very close to the lions and the elephants. These are wild animals.
Yes, they are. I feel like in a preserved setting such as this, the people really get a chance to see these animals as very similar to as they would be in the wild. In the lion section, we ask people to always keep their windows raised. The lions look very quiet, but in fact, in the wild, they sleep 18 to 20 hours a day. They, however, could attack. They're very fast attacking cats. They can attack as fast, they can go from speeds of up to 0 to 60 miles per hour in as fast as 3 to 4 seconds. So it's very important in that lion section to always keep your windows raised. And that's one of the things that Vicki does there, is make sure that it stays a safe section for people to drive through.
What about the animals that you have here in the park that are slowly becoming extinct?
We do have some endangered species here, and I think it's very important for people to realize the role that zoos play in the country. For example, the African elephant that Sophia was standing in front of, some people are saying that in the next 10 years they might not exist in the wild at all. And it's very important that we're here not just as in an educational role, but also in a very important breeding role to make sure that these species remain on the planet.
We certainly hope you enjoyed our visit to Lion Country Safari. Please stay tuned.
She's great, Dolores.
You do a good job.
Tonight is the last in our series of
She's
permanent
done a
makeup
good job.
creations. And in case you missed our earlier features, this is a procedure that's been brought over from England. It's FDA approved, totally safe, and it helps a woman look good any time of the day. Now tonight we're going to be concentrating on the lips and how to get a permanent lip line. And we turn it to Barbara to see how exactly it's done. Thanks,
I know you never saw this done. This is permanent makeup put on.
Small. Also, it's a little uneven on one side. So what we're going to be doing with Mary is creating a lip line,
done
which will
with
give the
vegetable
illusion
colors.
of her lips being a little fuller,
Like
a
they
little
can put,
larger,
you know how women
and
pluck their
consequently
eyebrows and real
more
skin, they
useful.
can, she feathers the eyebrows and
look to
make
have
it
a fuller
look
lip.
natural. It's
The line
permanent.
has the advantage, of course, that it can't be eaten off, it can't be kissed off, it's there all the
Putting
time.
a lip liner, Jane, so
The
she doesn't have
techniques
to
that we
wear
have now
lipstick, you know, to put a
also
lip.
that the lips can be filled in. So if you want to be totally lazy and have a permanent
I
lip,
never saw anything
you can
like
have a
it.
permanent lip.
Now again, this is not a tattoo procedure, right?
Tattooing is going deep into the dermis. The tattooing procedure is not reversible. The permanent creations procedure is reversible. We can change the color, we can remove it if necessary. The procedure will last a period of approximately 6 to 8 years.
How
If
do you like
you want
that?
to maintain it though, it can be maintained by just having occasional
fingers,
touch-up
Rosie.
treatments.
Yeah, look at her fingers.
Some of the
She's from
people that I
England.
did as
You hear her
much as
accent?
5 years ago are only just now coming back to have their permanent makeup freshened.
And what about the color when you want to change with what you're wearing?
Well, I suggest for most of my clients, if they want a soft, natural look, that they just go with a chameleon shade. The color that I have formulated for Mary is a mixture of a coral, pink, and lilac. So being chameleon, it will pick up any tone of lipstick that she's wearing. Another advantage of the permanent line is that it does stop lipstick bleeding, which is a big problem. Not so much with the under 25-year-olds, but once you get a little older and the lines start around the lips, the lipstick will bleed into that.
Now this is a painless procedure, am I right?
The most that people complain to me about the lips is they may have a tickling sensation. It's quite a comfortable procedure.
Tonight was the conclusion of our three-part series on permanent makeup.
That's the
You've seen
eyebrows.
Barbara Green apply permanent eyebrows and eyeliner. When Barbara Green applied permanent lip liner, you noticed how methodical she proceeded in her applications. In the first segment, we gave eyebrows an attractive, natural look. In the second segment, her permanent eyeliner treatment drew attention and beautified the eyes. With the completion of the lip liner, a woman can be beautiful around the clock.
John
Notice
wrote all
the
this
vast
script.
improvements of these
That's
before
John
and
wrote all
after
this
photos
script.
of Barbara Green's
Oh,
client.
that's fantastic.
I'm telling you, he's written everything at both those girls.
I'm Sophia Sparnis with an update on healthcare. There's been much talk about stress in business, in the home, in the environment, or wherever. Well, tonight we're at the offices of Dr. Swartz to get some answers on how to recognize and cope with the emotional and physical effects of stress to the body. Doctor, it certainly is a pleasure having you on Woman's World. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
If someone walked into your
Dr.
office
Swartz.
totally under
Jerry
a lot of
Jules.
stress, what would you do?
Well, first of all, you have to look at two factors. One is what's causing the stress. And there are many professionals out there who are trained to counsel people in psychological and social factors that may be the root cause of that's stress in that individual. But Dr. Hans Selye won a Nobel Prize for his work on stress, where he proved that when you're under stress, whether it be mental, physical, thermal, or chemical, it compromises the functioning of certain glands and organs in the body. And this is where most people can get additional help that is usually neglected. We find the areas that are weak within the body. When you're under these stresses chronically, when you're under a
This
lot of
should
stress
help
from
you,
work
Jane.
or family,
I
or
say
chemical
stress.
thermal stress, physical stress, working too long, not getting enough sleep, these organs and glands in the body, the thymus, the spleen, the adrenals, and the lymph system, are compromised, are weakened. The trouble is the weaknesses of themselves are not serious enough to be classified as disease entities, and therefore they don't show up on a traditional blood test, EKG, or X-ray. But through the traditional Chinese viewpoint, we can diagnose or find the imbalances and strengthen them so that the individual can deal with the stresses better. Obviously, the best approach would be to come from both points of view. Deal with what's causing it, family problems, job problems, financial problems, but the other hand, go ahead and strengthen the body that has been compromised from these stresses attacking it.
What would you suggest to a person under stress daily?
Well, the best thing to do is realize that stress is cumulative, and that if they're under a lot of stress at work, they shouldn't also abuse the body chemically by eating junk food or convenience foods. You can be under stress at work or at the job or at home, but if you take good care of your body as far as what you eat, you're going to reduce the total amount of stress. Exercise. If you exercise, you're going to also take better care of your body, and you may be able to deal with stresses from other viewpoints much better. What I'm saying is that if an individual realizes there's a particular stress that they have very little control of, if they also can they can reduce the amount of stress that comes from other avenues. Physical stress, make sure they get plenty of sleep, enough exercise. Mental, emotional stress, if there is stress at home, let's try to cut the stress down at work. Chemical stress, don't abuse your body chemically if you're also under mental, emotional stress. And of course, thermal stress, something as simple as you see a lot of older folks, and they're under stress, they're fighting illness, and they go in the summertime from a cool, air-conditioned supermarket to a 110-degree car. Sometimes taking a sweater along and putting it over your shoulders before you head out into that hot car allows you to have a more gradual temperature change. On a more practical basis, when a person wants to calm down, there are natural substances. There are Chinese herbs, and there are substances available in the health food store that will allow an individual to sort of calm down without having to resort to alcohol.
Doctor, case in point, a woman who has a very highly stressful job, has children at home, and also has to pay attention to her husband. When should she seek this type of care?
What you're really talking about is health care versus disease care. You're talking about does a woman feel that she's at a fairly optimal level of wellness or health. A lot of times we learn to live with our imbalances or our health problems. We take over-the-counter medications for our indigestion. We take aspirin for our headaches. We take other things to help us deal with our health as it ebbs away. An individual has to start to realize that they can grab a greater quality of life if they're willing to put forth some effort. Most physicians are trained in the diagnosing and treating of disease, and that's fine. The trouble is, the World Health Organization tells us that health is more than just the absence of disease. So there's a gap there where a person may not have a disease, but they certainly are not healthy. Wellness care, or trying to be more optimally well, is something that most individuals don't even realize exists out there. But an individual under a lot of stress who has a lifestyle that's demanding, I would think if they care about their family, themselves, and their job, would want to be the best person they can be and to take the best care of themselves. And they need a coach for that.
Miles Clothing provided by V. Good evening, I'm Sophia Sparnis. Welcome to Women's World TV Magazine.
Chocolate factory. The woman top.
Sophia Sparnas.
And I'm Sunny Quinn.
This is Women's World TV magazine. Sunny, I heard you had quite a busy week.
Oh, you bet. I've been interviewing a woman who spends a lot of her time out on the streets.
Sunny, you know we're not that type of a show.
Sophia, she's a police officer. So we're going to be talking to her about her job and the stress that goes with it.
We'll talk about stress. We're going to talk to a doctor who will show us how to handle our emotions and how to stay healthy.
Oh, I read this article, interesting, about chocolates being an instrument for love. Now, it's been tradition for a long time that man will give a woman a box of chocolates as a sign of affection. Well, also, it will increase her sex drive.
Sex drive.
That's what the article says, Sophia.
Well, we'll find the answer to that because we're going to interview the Candy Man. He and his wife own a chocolate factory, so they should know. We'll also bring you the latest fashions of the 90s.
Stay with us.
I'm Sophia Sparnas. There are so many nice things associated with the word sweet. Isn't she sweet? Sweetheart, sweet dreams, and chocolates. For years and years, the gift to encourage a romance has been a box of chocolates. We're here at Hoffman's Chocolates in Palm Beach, Florida, to show you how the symbol of love is made. Mr. and Mrs. Hoffman, welcome to Women's World. This is very much so a family-owned business. Why don't you tell us about that?
Well, yeah, it is. We have all of our children, 3 of them, a son and 2 daughters. We have 2 of their spouses with us. Nancy's manager of the West Palm Beach store. That's my son's wife. Tom is in the kitchen and he's working also in marketing and personnel and traffic this year, which is going to give him some headache and maybe lose a little hair like me. And Eileen is our office manager. And my wife, of course, does all the design.
What does your grandson do?
Noticed in the back a little while ago he was testing chocolates. He wasn't supposed to, but he was.
How long has Hoffman's been making chocolate?
We started in June of 1975, and we progressed since then. We started with a small shop in downtown Lake Worth, and then we ended up building a shop in West Palm Beach, and it was a supply and demand type thing. And people asked us if we could move up to Palm Beach Gardens, so 2 years later we opened in Palm Beach Gardens. And then I kind of had this dream about this facility, which is one where people can view us making chocolate. And I found the property about 5 years ago, and it had an old home on it.
It's like
We
Lucy.
converted the house into a retail store, and while we were designing this new facility. And in August of this year, we opened the new facility. So we have 4 in Palm Beach County.
Mr. Hoffman, I understand that you are starting to ship your chocolates all over the country.
Yeah, we find that there's a very large market for it. With the great influx of people that we get here, we have the ability now to ship everything throughout the entire continent of the United States with no problem at all.
How many different varieties of chocolate do you make here?
Confections with centers, we do about 78 different pieces, from truffles to the traditional caramels and turtlenettes and stuff like that. We also do non-chocolate items, brittles, coconut cashew crunch, which is very, very popular, pecan logs and jellies and things like that.
Can you tell me a little bit about the process involved?
Well, each one ends up varying a little bit. You have some products with a very short shelf life, which are our fresh sweet whipping cream, which we use in our truffles, which has a shelf life of, say, a week to 2 weeks on the outside, to more long-life items, such as the rabbits, which you were looking at us mold for the holidays. Those can have 6 months in a good, stable environment. Nuts, we do everything in very small batches so that they can be fresh and crisp. I hate when you bite into an almond and it squeaks rather than crunches. So we do everything in small batch sizes, and that's how we maintain the quality.
Mr. Hoffman, is chocolates really made for lovers?
Yeah, on Valentine's Day, which was just a few weeks ago, we had an 8-pound heart. And it usually is a young man who is very much in love with a young lady, and he wants to overwhelm her. So he's usually the typical customer for that heart.
And you also have tour groups here, a lot of children I've noticed.
Yeah. We're actually booked already through June with 1 to 2 groups a day. We had a pleasant surprise on Saturday. We had antique car people come in from Boca Raton. They had heard about us, and they drove up, and they spent a little over an hour with us with their antique cars. And I wish I had gotten some photographs. Some of the cars I hear were really quite good, but I was out of town, and I didn't get to see it. But a lot of kids.
Mr. Hoffman, what does your wife do at Hoffman's Chocolates?
Teresa's responsible for all of the design packaging that you see, the conceptual type things. She works along with Louise Edwards, our general manager, and my youngest daughter, who's Sandy Masiak. She sits down with them, coordinates, and all the packaging that you've seen throughout this store kind of has her watchful eye on it and critique. If there's something that she doesn't like, they sit down, they talk about it. They also try to develop price ranges, which are a variety, so that you can have on the low end and on the high end, so that the package is affordable for a variety of people.
I have one question for you both that really would suffice to Sonny's question at the beginning of the show. Does chocolates really stimulate your sex drive?
You got it.
That's cute.
Very good.
Did you write that, John?
Yep, you read that all. Now this is the house I'm telling you, $1 Million House, Bobby.
One of the old popular radio shows was Fibber, McGee, and Molly. Now the show started out with a loud crash when Fibber opened an overcrowded closet door. It was a running gag that people could relate. It seems like there's never enough storage space in our homes. Well, we're going to show you how to remedy that. We're going to interview a man who builds beautiful closets that organize space for clothes, shoes, or those treasured items. We'd like to refer to Victor Vasquez as a man who utilizes every inch of space in a home. Victor, welcome to Woman's World.
Thank you.
Victor, me being your prospective client, designing a home, what would you do with me first?
Well, the first thing that we would need to do is to see the actual plans or blueprints of the house that you're considering. At that time, we do takeoffs of those plans, sit down with you and have a detailed conversation of what your needs will be, and what the actual inventory of the closets will be.
For example, 100 pair of shoes.
Right, or if it was a larger gentleman, he may have a need for a larger jacket or a larger inseam. So we get very detailed as far as those specific items. And at that time, what we do is we go onto our computer CAD system and we design a closet, as we have here on our plan, where we lay out everything, gives you the capacities for each section, gives you the depths, the heights, and the widths, so you know exactly where you're standing before your house is even built.
Also, if you need storage space for golf clubs or...
Right, all this is taken into consideration as to really what people want to use their closets for, especially the guest closets and the other closets other than the master. Usually the master is just used for the clothes and the necessary needs of the clients.
Now, what if someone has an already existing home?
Well, at that time, what we would do is we would like to go out to their house, and we have the same conversation with them, and the same process is followed as far as the computer plans are concerned. The only other thing with the home, with the remodeling of a home, is that we would take into consideration not only their needs at that time, but what their future needs will be if the kids are young and they're growing up, if there's going to be, some needs that need to be taken care of in that respect. But mainly it's the same process that we follow, and once again with the computer layouts and
Remember I told you the workout room off of the bathroom.
What do you feel that people have the most space problem with?
Well, the problem is mainly not enough space or poorly organized space, because traditionally everyone that comes to Florida is either coming from up north or out west where they have attics and basements. Not so the case here. Here we have to use every possible inch of space, and our physical space engineers that are on our computers that design it in that way.
For example?
For example, a person may come in with a 4 foot by 4 foot walk-in closet, and they're trying to fit 3 closets of items in that one closet. So what we would do in that case is we would actually take the cubic inches of that closet and we would design it in a way to accommodate the data that we have in our original conversation and what we saw. This is using height, this is using depth, this is using every possible angle or any possible design means possible to get the maximum space out of it. Double hanging clothes. Instead of having a single hang section, we would double hang it for the 2-piece outfits, making your single hang dresses come right above the floor, maybe an inch or 2, and giving us space above the hanging rod. That's just an example of things we do.
Victor, what is a typical size home that you design for?
Well, we do usually anything from 2,800 square feet to over 13,000 square feet. Usually we don't go into anything smaller than that. We have occasion to, but that's the average size home is just around 3,000 square feet.
Do you have to sit down at your computer every single time you design a closet?
Well, no, not every single time. Some people have simple needs, and more than that, the time frame is more important for them as to get it done. Our systems are all 100% adjustable, so this gives them kind of peace of mind as if we did a regular 4 foot, 1 wall closet, linear closet,
and they want shelves straight across. Well, we can do that right there. Really, a computer plan's not needed since the system is adjustable every inch, from top inch to the bottom inch, going from anywhere from 7 to 8 to 9 feet high. Then their capabilities are within their own hands.
Victor, what is this contraption used for?
Well, that's our typical tie rack, and it handles ties and some belts and so forth like that.
I need one of these.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah. Also, I noticed that you build the dresser doors right into the closets, so people have more space in a master bedroom.
Right. What seems to be the trend, especially here in Boca Raton in southern Florida, is a lot of people like an open type design, and a lot of our designers are designing houses that way, where people would have all the drawers and the hampers and the cabinets inside of their closet rather than in their bedroom, having a more open effect in their bedroom. And in turn, they're using their closets as dressing rooms as well as closets, so this works out well. But one thing, the more cabinets you do have and the more hampers you do have, the more that cuts into your actual hanging space. So that's why designing a closet beforehand usually is the best bet.
It was interesting, wasn't it?
The law, the way. Terrific. Okay. Now, does it make a difference to you about your size? You're dealing in a potentially very dangerous occupation. You're not built like a man, obviously. How does that affect your work?
I've never seen it really affect my work. There are a lot of people that are very gentle, but very large, and people that are really mean that are very little. And more than how you look and how big you are is how you come across to people and how you deal with them. That's the most important thing.
Now, is there special training that you have to go through to overcome the fact that you are in a woman's body?
Well, basically, we've gone through all the training that all the men do, but recently, because there are physical differences, men have more upper body strength than women do traditionally. We've had some other defensive tactics and what have you training that have taught us how to better utilize these differences and make things work to our advantage a little more.
Okay, Sergeant, is there ever a time that you have been on duty and you feel that your life was actually endangered?
That's daily, almost.
How do you deal with that, with the stress of that?
A lot of times you just don't even think about it, you know. I mean, I guess they say car accidents happen within a quarter mile of the home, but you get in your car and you go out, you don't think about it. It doesn't always happen. You go home at the end of your shift, and, you know, usually in one piece.
Now, Sergeant, how do you fight crime and actually keep such beautiful nails?
Well, I just try not to break them.
No, what was that saying that you told me earlier?
Oh, God. I tease a lot about them. I say if I break a nail, someone's going to jail, but that isn't always true.
That's now, I understand that you yourself have a family. You're married?
Yes, I am.
And how does your husband feel about what you do?
Well, when we met, we were both deputies on the same shift, so he's known right from the start what I do. We've been working together, well, we've been married almost 9 years.
Now, Sergeant, you say that you both work with the sheriff's office. How do you find time to nurture your marriage and get out together?
Well, we try to work on similar shifts. We're both kind of on days, and we stay in different divisions so that we can get time off together.
And what do you do?
Well, we're kind of little homebodies, but we do like to travel. Matter of fact, next week we're going to see some friends in Salt Lake, Utah, and do some skiing.
How nice. That should relieve some of the stress that you go through.
Either that or create a lot. We're not real good skiers.
Gee, it's cute. Fresh colors for a new look.
I'm Sophia Sparnis. Our beauty department has come up with a real winner. We have located the end of a rainbow. Tonight we will deal with colors. That is the colors in makeup. We will talk to Mary Lang, the owner of Merrill Norman on Military Trail, West Palm Beach. What makes her shop different? The answer is her special interest in advising women how to apply makeup to fit the individual's color, contour, and shape of their face. We asked Mary why she inquired about one's background and how a woman should apply different makeup to suit different looks.
We want to know a lot about them. We want to know where they work, where they live, what kind of clothes they wear, what color clothing that they wear. You'll notice in your audience, everybody has something different on. They're a different type of person. Plus, some days you want to impress your new boss. And some days you're going to get a new mother-in-law and you want her to think you're very sweet. So you want different looks for different days.
While preparing for the interview, Mary caught me by surprise when I asked her, "Who are you going to use for the makeover?"
You.
Me.
Yes, Jennifer is going to do you.
Okay.
And you're going to have the best time.
My first endeavor was to fill out a file card to find out my skin type. Then off came all traces of makeup. Jennifer then tested which color foundation best suited my skin.
After we've put your foundation on, we're going to use a retouch cream or an oil-free control concealing cream. And that's the color that we use underneath the eye area. This is the sheerest part on your face. And for some women, tiny lines will show up or poor night's sleep. So we want to cover those up. And we're going to choose a color that's slightly lighter than your foundation, in keeping with the sheer look. Now that we've got your shadow base on, your foundation, and your under-eye concealer, we're going to put a loose powder on, an oil control powder. That is going to set the foundation. That's going to also help you with that oily shine you had mentioned to me.
And the stuff you had just put on my eyes was so the eyeshadow doesn't...
Shadow base will keep your eyeshadows from creasing up. It also evens out the coloring on the eyelid, so the true color of the eyeshadow comes through. It's as if you were an artist and you had a canvas, you'd white it out before you placed your colors. And we're doing the same thing with your face. Our next step is a blusher. And we're going to place our blusher by smiling, placing our brush onto the cheek, pulling it upwards and around the eye. This way we can keep balance of your face. Once we apply your blusher, then we'll begin with color for your eyes. We'll start with the lightest color for your lid area and the top part of your brow. Then we'll add a darker color to the outer part of the brow. And then we're going to use an accent color. We'll pull it out a little bit. You had mentioned to me that you were concerned about some chubby cheeks. And although they're not actually chubby, if we don't pull the width of our eye out, it'll make them appear to be chubby. So we're going to just widen the eye a little bit so it all stays in balance. Then we'll apply our brow sealer. That's to keep our eyebrows tamed, as well as adding a little color back to them. Then we're going to use a good deep mascara on it. We're going to use a black mascara, upper and lower lashes.
At different points of the consultation, Jennifer had me try my own talents. She reminded me that this was a learning process and even I could apply this at home.
And last but not least, we'll be adding your lip color. Lining the lip with a slightly darker pencil, filling in with a soft fuchsia color we've chosen for you today to keep in with the cool color scheme that we're wearing, as well as matching your pretty dress today.
Are you really healthy? Tonight we're going to talk about an alternative health care. Women's World Department on Health and Medicine has tried to give the viewers many different viewpoints on health care. We have found Dr. Swartz in Stuart, Florida, whose approach is different in maintaining a healthy physical body. Doctor, are we rediscovering the ancient Chinese healing arts?
Well, certainly it looks that way. When Nixon went over to China and saw people having surgery with no anesthesia except for acupuncture, it opened our eyes that something very powerful was taking place. Now that we have taken a closer look, we realize that acupuncture is effective for more than just pain control. And it's a system of healing that goes much deeper, that it's a system of balancing out the organs and glands of the body, that it treats organic problems, not just pain, that it uses not only acupuncture needles, but it uses herbology, nutrition, and actually counseling. The acupuncturists believe that the mental emotional state of the body affects the functioning of the organs and glands. And the acupuncturists have done manipulation of the spine, similar to the chiropractor today, for 3,000 years. Now we're able to prove that it works. We're able to see the changes in the hormonal system, the changes in the nerve conductivity. We're able to scientifically sort of prove that their 3,000-year-old system has a tremendous amount of merit.
Doctor, 89% of your patients are women. Why is that?
Women seem to be a lot more aware of their body and their health. I think also they take their responsibility of the family so seriously they realize that they're sick or ill or not feeling well, they can't take care of their children. Men very often ignore their health until they have to dial 911.
Doctor, how would you treat a pregnant woman?
Pregnant women, of course, are ideal patients for this type of health care because most of the pharmaceutical preparations that the medical physicians use are contraindicated. Therefore, in the field of homeopathy and natural health care, we have some approaches that really no one else can match.
Dr. Schwartz theorizes more people should take an early interest in their well-being. They should pay close attention to the food they eat and exercise properly, in conjunction with being receptive to the information passed down through the ages by the Chinese and other sources. They would most certainly live a well-rounded, healthy life.
Well, there are numerous approaches. You would check the acupuncture circuit that goes to the adrenals, and if it's out of balance, it can be stimulated electrically or with needles. You would find various herbal formulas that have been used for thousands of years to strengthen the adrenal glands and help with menopausal symptoms. And usually that's enough. In addition to that, the vertebra of the spine can affect the meridians. And as I mentioned, they have been used for thousands of years. Chiropractic type manipulation has been part of Chinese acupuncture for 3,000 years.
Doctor, I know you're writing a book presently. Is all this information in your book?
Well, the focus of my book, the working title is Ancient Healing Secrets - New Age Medicine. Now, we were given a healing art, the acupuncture system, that only today we're beginning to appreciate fully. We now know and can prove that the acupuncture circuits exist, that stimulation of certain points affect the hormonal and nervous system, and yet where did that information come from? It's certainly a mystery, and we'll talk about that in the book. Yet, I think that the acupuncture system, that system of looking at the body through that point of view, is going to allow us to leapfrog into the future as far as how we view health. Most doctors view health from what's called a Newtonian point of view. It's almost like the body's made up of parts. You have molecules, you have atoms, you have cells, and you have organs. But the Einstein point of view is that the body's an energy system. Matter of fact, the physicists today are saying that matter, this table, is frozen light. Well, that sounds very esoteric, but that's how physics is today.
Our camera crew is on location here in Stuart, Florida, where the Monobody Orchestra will appear before a sold-out crowd. Throughout the year, many celebrities perform in this auditorium. We will be talking to the president of the Performing Arts Society, who has arranged year after year to bring top talent to this area. Welcome to Women's World.
Yeah, like her, Jane. She's
here.
the president of the, to put the Opera House.
So well received, like sold-out crowds.
Most of them are. Most of them are. We bring most of
like that
big name artists, and they're very well received. We turn away a lot of people.
How many years have you been working with the Performing Arts Society?
11 years.
11 years. And I understand that you are working on a new concert hall.
Yes, we are. We're very excited about that. We have 28 acres of property on which to build it. We've closed on 14 acres, and we're about to close on another 14 acres. We have contracted William Wesley Peters, chairman of the Franklin Wright Foundation, to design our hall. So we're moving right along, and everyone is very supportive, and we think we're going to do it very soon.
Right, and it should be completed within about 2 years?
In about 2 years, if things continue as they are now, which we anticipate.
How
how many people can be seated in the new concert hall?
Does
2,250.
she have some face? Yeah, she looks pretty, doesn't she? This is the church we passed. Johnny showed you. That's where they're having the concerts.
I'm talking here with Ken Mantovani of the Mantovani Orchestra.
This is
Ken,
the son.
welcome to Woman's World.
Thank you very much.
He died in Mantovani. This is his son carrying on the
back
orchestra.
on tour.
We started it again in 1983. My father's old record producer decided that we had a very good library, and his name was Tony Tomato. Here we are, touring.
Now, have you gone out of the country recently?
Yes, the orchestra has been to Japan, Korea, and Taiwan, and we're very pleased about that.
And what do you think about coming back to Stewart, Florida?
I'm very excited about that because you asked me to become your resident orchestra.
Right.
And we are certainly going to try and do that. I'm looking very much on the bright side.
That's great. Any future plans?
Future plans, we just want to keep touring.
Right.
Yes, keep my father's name alive.
That's great.
Well, yes, go on.
You have a lot of followers in this area, that's for sure.
I can see that the houses are full.
That was good, huh? Everyone, John, I think it's going to go, somebody's going to pick that up. I think so. So now Robertson,
Oh, here comes your Athena. Here. Oh, come on, let's do it again, Nicola. Come on. Sliding board. Athena, your turn. Oh. Ready? Ooh, wow. Again. Ready? Marching, march. Hi, Uncle Bobby.
Hi, Bobby.
Say hi, Bobby.
Hi, Bobby.
Say hi, Bobby. Say hi, Bobby. Can you say hi, Bobby? Peter. All right, let's march. Come on, take my hand. Come on, Nicola. March. Say hi, Uncle Bob. Say hi. Wave to Uncle Bobby. Say hi. Wave to Uncle Bobby. Uh-oh, there's Nicola.
Hi, Bobby.
Hello, Nicola. Hi, Cap.
Put up.
You want to sit down? I hope. You want to swim anything there? Look, Athena. Look what Nicola's doing. Look, you want to do what Nicola's doing? Look. On her tummy. On her tummy.
Bobby, Bobby.
Sit down. Wow! Gotta go see Uncle Bob. See Uncle Bob? Come on. Come on.
That's great.
That's Hammer. Say hi, hi, hi. No, don't be silly. Don't be silly. Where's Big Bird at? G-H-I-J-K-L-M-N-O-P Q-R-S-N-T-U-V-W-X-Y-Z. Now I know my ABCs. Tell me what you think of me. Yay! Yay! Ready? Wave up above. Wave high. All right, Jenny, your turn. All right, Jenny's getting in the picture now.
Open it. Hard? Is it hard? Is it hard? No. This is the ends. Just put the ends. I'll put the ends and you open the box, all right? All right? Okay. Now you lift out the box. Up. Up.
Beautiful paper.
Yeah, we have to save this paper.
Oh.
I'm not even looking. Mom, what are you doing back there? Come on in the camera.
Change dress for camera.
Wish I knew where she was.
Sides are taped. Sides are taped. Okay. Now. Wow. Oh, boy.
Yay!
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that is beautiful.
God, thank you.
You're welcome, sweetie. That is real.
Hey, you know,
Thank you.
tell him to try it on.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He is going to try it.
What's that? Medium?
Medium.
Good.
Bye.
Boy. Wow, that's you couldn't carry it over that camera.
Good. Well, you know you can take it back and get something else if you don't. Doesn't it look handsome, Aunt Jane?
Huh?
Look handsome on them.
Well, it does. Really. Now, Cindy, how do you think of that? That is fantastic.
2 stores, and I kept looking and I thought this was definitely the best.
Yeah. That looks nice.
Dolores is not, where's Dolores at?
See, you know, if it wasn't so cold, you could
Dolores
put
is one of those
your
people
finger
used to
there.
use when we were talking about camera shots.
Hey, that looks
What are you
great.
taking, the floor?
No, I'm taking Dolores.
Okay. All right, put the brush.
Well, I want to take Sophia.
Oh, jeez. Oh, geez.
Well, this
You
is
have
gonna be
to.
this is gonna be something to see. Come
Here.
on, Dolores, can I get your picture taken? Come on. Yeah.
Where's she
Hey,
at?
come on,
Come
mother,
on, get
you
in the
act
picture.
so weird.
You got a good slice and feed his mouth on this
I don't know if
camera.
she'll get all of you, but you.
I don't know
We're
what I'll
tired.
get.
We've been working all day.
Yeah, that's great, hon. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. I love it myself.
I
That's
love it.
why I got it. I think it's,
It's
great.
beautiful.
Nice.
You wear it on night like tonight.
It's beautiful, Bobby.
After I leave my next stop, I'll start putting it on.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
It is beautiful.
Yeah,
I love it.
nice, very nice.
Okay, now don't overdo it there, Jane. I don't get him on camera much, so I am taking his picture. Smile, honey,
I
you're
hope
on
you know
candy
where the
camera.
button is. You know where the button is?
Sophia, you're on camera. All right, Cindy.
I
Cindy,
need to give her that camera.
Cindy. What do I push next, honey?
The same button.
She said Cindy. Here's her piece.
Watch, Nicole. Okay, come on, let's get my baby Din Din. Ugh.
Don't forget to call yours.
Well, Aunt Jane, maybe I should give you the receipt just in case. What do
No,
you think,
honey,
Mom?
it's so close. Take
Well,
yours.
that's up to you. Ask Uncle Bobby. Does he think he'll want to take it
Happy
back?
birthday,
I
sweetheart.
don't think he does. I think he likes it.
I think it's gorgeous.
He does like it. I don't think, Johnny, you have to give me a receipt.
Well,
It's really rough.
Oh, you can tell by the wind.
oh, let's put this chicken in there.
Sharon, don't you know it's rude to interrupt? Sometimes I think you have beans in your ears.
You know, he's imagining.
That's nice, son. Just don't put those beans in your ears. Beans in your ears. Beans in your ears. That's nice, son. Just don't put those beans in your ears.
And he came to class one morning and he said, "This here's the story of Ringer Sala. In your correspondence, and it did it. Well, the more of this, the more you this. If you ever go to a dentist,
There's the elephant.
Dance, Nicola. Dance, babe. That's fast motion, Nicola. Fast motion.
have you ever noticed that there are a lot of children
See, this is their concert, Jane. They take a clip from their concert. Do a temple song.
Hello? Oh, sure, she's right here. Oh, great. You know, I think she would like to stay just a little bit longer. Would that be okay? Oh, that's terrific. I'll tell her. Bye-bye. Natalie, that was your dad. He said you can stay a little bit longer if you want. Oh, and he's making pizza for dinner. Pizza? Yeah, pizza. Wow, I'm gonna go. Natalie, I thought you said you were going to stay for
Skillamarinky-doo, I love you. Skillamarinky-dinky-dee, skillamarinky-doo, I love you. I love you in the morning, in the afternoon. I love you in the evening.
You're not singing it.
Underneath the moon, sing. Skillamarinky-dinky-doo, skillamarinky-doo, I love you. I love you. You know I do. I love you. I love. Tell Uncle Bobby. You. Ooh. Look at Uncle Bobby. Say I love you. I love you.
Bobby. Say, I love you, Bobby.
Love you, Bobby.
That's good. Say it again.
Take a bow, Nicola. Take a bow. Take a bow. Nay. Yay.
Yes.
Probably what all parents grab out of
So I'm taking a shower.
Do you remember exactly how long ago it is since
I
third
miss
grade?
you.
But to me, it's just about
Picture. Yeah. Yes, it is. Hi, Mary Jane. What's Mary Jane's kid's name again? Lisa and Jennifer. Lisa and Jennifer. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Jennifer. Yes.